I'm H.D. Chambers, Superintendent for Alief ISD, and I want to spend just a quick moment with you discussing our teacher incentive allotment and some of the things we're going to be doing for the 21-22 school year. First, I want to emphasize one thing, and I want to be really clear about this. The teacher incentive allotment is not a separate program. It's not a project. It is really an evolution of what we hope to have happen in Alief that improves teacher performance. It gives you a chance to grow. And obviously, at the end of the day, it gives you a chance to be compensated for your successful teaching. Many parts of our program currently already fall under the umbrella of the teacher incentive allotment. Things like teacher coaching and development, teacher instructional practices, student assessment, teacher recognition, again, compensation and advancement, and then last but certainly not least, teacher recruitment and teacher placement. We have learned an incredible amount of information this year from our teacher incentive allotment pilot. We've had leaders and teachers across the district who have been piloting a large component of the teacher incentive allotment. I really do want to recognize and express my sincere appreciation for everything they have done in light of what we've gone through this past year. Their early learning process has been extremely beneficial to us. I want to thank Ollie Middle School. I want to thank Holland Middle School, Martin Elementary, Chancellor Elementary, Miller Intermediate, Hastings High School, and Taylor High School. We all understand and we all recognize that this year has been challenging, to say the least. And I don't know, and I'm not going to claim that we're going to be back to whatever normal is during the 21-22 school year. However, I want to emphasize this. The school board and myself are placing a large priority on the teacher incentive allotment for us as a district. And we are going to put a lot of attention, a lot of focus on this process. And again, going back to what I said earlier, because we believe it has such a powerful opportunity to improve and to help teachers and ultimately students. I hope and I think that you will feel that this will be an all hands on deck activity, and I hope and feel that you will benefit from it as we move forward. Also want to highlight that next year, the 21-22 school year, is what we're thinking of as a pilot year 2. So we started this year just piloting at a very high level some components of the teacher incentive allotment. The 21-22 school year is going to really be about getting our arms around this program and the way in which we're going about it as a district. We're not going to submit any data to the state. We're not going to be held accountable for anything. So it's really a year for us to test and to take advantage of opportunities and learn something new in an environment that's safe and secure and really an open book for us to learn from. Now, the 22-23 school year, a couple years from now, will be a data capture year, and that's when we will start capturing real data to set a baseline of performance that we believe that we can grow from. So anyway, just know that 21-22 is going to be a learning year, a pilot year, with 22-23 actually becoming a data capture year. For next year, so this is 21-22, our thoughts are fairly simple, and I know you're not going to think this is simple, but they really are if you think about it. We want to think of next year as a dress rehearsal, or if you're a coach, we're going full pad scrimmage. Here's what I mean in a practical manner. All eligible teachers next year will receive a T-test. And we're not going to give waivers for that, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But we want to help provide a baseline for every teacher so that when we begin moving to the 22-23 and even ultimately to the 23-24 school year, we know the types of growth and the types of coaching that is needed, and two, how we can recognize every quality teacher, and for those teachers that are performing at very high levels. All our teachers, everyone will receive a set of standard student learning objectives. And we're hoping to make these adjustments through the SLO, the Student Learning Objectives process, to make it more rigorous, to help train you and to help teachers teach at a more rigorous level, which obviously impacts our students and their future outcomes. So we're going to be looking at multiple parts of the student learning objectives. We're going to be looking at multiple parts of the T-test, and it is our goal, and I want you to hear this loud and clear from me, it is my goal, my expectation, that through this process, that you are working as a teacher, you are working collaboratively with your principal, with your supervisor, and with your leaders to make the best adjustments that we possibly can for you, so you can be successful and you feel prepared. And then when that occurs, then obviously students will benefit from that. So this is 100% an attempt to help everyone improve in their craft of teaching, in their profession of teaching. All students in grades 3 through 12 will take student surveys. We've had several campuses that have piloted student surveys this year. I will tell you that student surveys, when done correctly, when the right questions are asked and the way in which they're framed for students, obviously third grade students are going to answer different questions than maybe a sophomore or junior in high school. But when that's done correctly and it's done in a true meaningful way, we glean a lot of information. I know that many of you teachers do your own surveys, your own little informal surveys with your kids throughout the year. We are going to be working on a more standardized survey that allows us to create a level playing field, if you will. But student perceptions and student surveys are a critical component of our teacher incentive allotment process. A critical component of the teacher incentive allotment is the training and the support that you're going to be provided as a teacher. Nothing I've said will work. Nothing I have said will make a difference in student outcomes if we as a district do not help meet every one of you, teachers, support staff, if we don't meet you where you are and provide the type of training and the type of support that you need. If we're all honest with ourselves, including me, we all have areas in which we work really well and we do really well in, and we all have areas that we need some attention. It is my expectation that we don't use this process as a way to point fingers or a gotcha, that type of environment. This has to be an opportunity for us to work together, leadership, teachers, etc., so that we can address any areas in which there needs to be improvement. So I'm asking every one of us to be professional, be adults, and let's work together to improve outcomes for our students. What you can expect next. Your principal has received or will receive a PowerPoint presentation that goes into more detail on some of the points that I've made with you today. We have asked every principal to go through this with their staff, to have conversations with their staff. In the meantime, if you have any questions about this initiative at all, I encourage you to reach out to your principal or go to www.aliefisd.net/TIA. Again, aliefisd.net/TIA, Teacher Incentive Allotment. There's a lot of information there. A lot of our staff before the start of the school year. It won't be everyone, but we will begin the process. And we hope that that process ends up being very beneficial for those that participate in it. Listen, I'm fully aware of the last 13, 14, 15 months and the pressure, the stress, the frustration, the sadness that many of you have experienced. And this is in no way an attempt to complicate your lives. It's just the opposite. It's an attempt to provide more support and to be more clear and for us as a district to be more thoughtful and intentional in how we go about preparing our students. But before we can prepare our students, all of us, including me, all of us, must be prepared. And we, like I said earlier, we all have opportunities where we need to be, where our weaknesses or some of the deficiencies we may have can be addressed. And we all have to be open-minded about accepting that help and accepting that support and not be offended or not, be critical of it. Here's what's coming. Our mantra, and I have been preaching this since we started this a couple years ago, is to succeed, but succeed slowly. Meaning, let's go about this in a very meaningful way so that if we identify an area that's working well, we're going at a pace that we can recognize what's going well. If we start doing something that doesn't work very well, that we're going at a pace that we can stop it. And in some cases, there are initiatives that organizations take on that they go so fast and they're moving so quickly that there's not an opportunity to even recognize what worked and what didn't work, and you don't realize it until you're at the end of it, and you have to go back and try to figure out, what happened. This will be a multi-year process. We will try new things. Many of those things will work, and you will love them. Many of those things may not work, and you may hate them. And we're going to try to learn from those, from each other, but we're going to try to learn from those experiences so that we continue to just get better at what we do. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a matter of, well, I did this today, so the entire world should change tomorrow. I think we're all adult and we know that's not going to occur. However, we have an opportunity to do some really great things. We have incredible teachers in this district, incredible. We have teachers that, they're the best of the best. They're top shelf. We also have people that work really hard and are starving for some meaningful opportunities to grow. I know that. And so the teacher incentive allotment is the reason we're doing this, and I've said this 1,000 times, is to recognize and help our teachers grow to become the best educator they possibly can, and as a part of that, be compensated in a meaningful way that actually rewards those teachers financially the way they deserve to be compensated. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's not going to be bumps along the road, and there's not going to be areas in which we have to push pause and either go another direction or start over in some areas. But I'm asking you to be a part of the solution as we work through this. Please be a part of the solution because ultimately you'll benefit and our students will benefit. So thank you for paying attention to this, if you did, and take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.